2, 1, and we're live. Hello, everyone. We're here for new BGA member presentation. It's already the end of June, the half of the year. It's a pleasure to be with you. Today, we are going to welcome all new members who joined this month. There are so before we jump to who are the new members, we are going to present you the Blockchain Game Alliance. So 5 minutes. So the Blockchain Game Alliance, it's actually an organization that's promoting to committed adoption of blockchain within the video game industry. We represent more than 235 members. We are here to spread awareness about what blockchain technology is, DeFi, decentralized gaming, NFTs, DAOs, etc., and how they can help to create new ways to publish and games, to create games, to play games, to engage with communities and build them better. We're a strong advocate for more diversity in the space. We're lucky when we have women founders like today, and we're also an open forum for individuals and companies to network, to generate business together, to offer speaking opportunity, to participate into working group, research. We're here to represent and give visibility to many blockchain games and also promoting adoption of the technology. I'd like to give a big thanks to our sponsors. So namely, we have AMD, Android Interactive, Ubisoft, Zaya, Illuvium, One Way Block, Fear, Mobox, Star Atlas, Gameloft, who will be here presenting today, Vulcan Verge, Arc.io, Non-Fungible, Digital Entertainment Asset Group, Gamer Hashtag, IOY, TriumphX, Drops, Algorand, NRKX, Boson, Chromia, Polygon, Nextype, YooShi, also here today with us. Animoca Brands, Contribute, Galaxy Interactive, Consensus, Tesos, Hackernoon, also here. So this is a great day. We have 3 big sponsors today, strong supporter, thanks to them, and Polkadot. We have been growing the BGA, more than 235 members from all corners of the industry, games, gaming, chain and protocol, developer solution, esport, press, media, investors, marketplaces, and many more. It's really grateful to see all those members sharing a common goal. We host various events, including interview with industry leaders, workshops, new member presentation like today, panels, demo days like we had last week, and more. And we are really open to your suggestion too. Without any further ado, we're going to jump into the presentation. Each of those companies will get 10 minutes to present what they are doing and answer any questions. And then you'll get to maybe see some videos, some of the products too as well, which is, I think, really great. A first way to get started and engage with community. So we'll be moving and presenting today with Aaron from YooShi. We'll have Evelyn from Digital Village, Limar from Hackernoon, Mathieu from Gameloft, Ryan, Dan Stone from Ethermore, and Pedro for dotmoovs. So here is today's agenda, and thank you for being with us. I will now let Aaron from YooShi speak.
Hey, good to see everyone here. Sebastian, thanks for having me. Guys, Blockchain Game Alliance, this is something completely new to me, something amazing that I was like, there's a whole alliance that like blockchain. I grew up as a gamer. And so to be part of part of YooShi, first of all, a whole community with just this fun attitude about bringing, this energy towards blockchains and protocols and tokens and crypto and all that kind of stuff. And then to find out that there's a whole alliance of blockchain gaming, like a whole bunch of, I'm not sure if you guys are nerds. I'm definitely a nerd. And so I'm just super excited to be here. I know the YooShi army is so super excited to be here. We're just a bunch of lizard brain army just going across crypto and just enjoying ourselves and looking for NFTs. I got some things to share with you, if you guys don't mind, about what the YooShi army is all about. But first of all, I just want to say thank you to the guys that are here, sponsoring us. I'm just a volunteer. Okay, I'm not like some CEO. I'm not the brains of this operation at all. I'm just someone who's excited, who believes in YooShi, who's running around with this pack of wild lizards and just taking over the crypto industry here. So let me go ahead and share this screen. If I could figure out how to share it. I'm not even sure how to do that. There we go. All right. So yeah, guys, YooShi is basically it's a whole bunch of stuff, and it's 4 different sections here. I'm going to go through this because I don't want to be like super boring. I want to really just answer questions and get in here. But these are the 4 main pillars that YooShi stands on. There's a lot of creativity, NFTs, a GameFi incubator, and charity. And I mean, we'll talk about the creative IP and the charity first. There's this thing, I don't know if you guys have heard of this, Angel Man syndrome. I just heard about this recently, and there's a lot of proceeds that are going to it. There's like delays and stuff like that. I'm not some like medical expert or anything, but I just love when I hear about crypto projects just backed by regular people like you and me. Like, our money is going toward, we're trying to make it rich. We're trying to get it done for our family and our friends, but at the same time, it's helping someone else in need. I think that's absolutely amazing. There's a lot of creativity in the YooShi space, especially as far as NFT goes. So we're able to create NFTs, use those NFTs to farm and create more money, create more wealth, and then donate more to different charities. As you can see, all tokens accumulated in YooShi farming pool will be distributed to users through stake NFT to farm. So yeah, basically we're just farming off these NFTs. It's actually really amazing. I know I touched on it a little bit, but this is something that is like really, really interesting because a lot more, I don't know about you guys, but I guess my awareness for the needs in the world, especially like my own family members have, there's like, they got like medical delays, and I don't want to make it about them. It's just what is occurring to me. If I'm hit with like definitely, different people in my sphere of influence have some kind of speech delay or developmental delay, and I know that, hey, there's this random crypto project that's helping them, well, I'm gonna get into that project. I want to at least learn what it's about. And so here's some of the economics of it. There's a YooShi box where you can kind of pull out just a random NFT, and you get your NFT here. And you could either sell it or you could farm it into the NFT farming pool. And then of course there's like a small fee or whatever. So not enough of that like economics and stuff like that. But basically there's a trading market and an auction market. And of course there's, if you want to join in, I think it's a lot of fun. I think there's a lot of culture, pop culture brought into like mixed with the YooShi ecosystem. I think it's really amazing that, this is just conceptualized. This just came out of the community. You know what I mean? Like how does this work? And so I'm just super glad to be a part of it. And now we're working on our first Binance Smart Chain NFT wallet, which is great. I mean, like to make it accessible on the phone, instead of just having to go in my computer and, putting my MetaMask and all that kind of stuff. It's too much. It's too much for me. And so, yeah, the YooShi tokenomics really quickly, 50% burned dev tokens, 10% gradually destroyed, and a 40% fair launch. And then, of course, there's some transactions, how the transaction fee is distributed, 4% to its holders, 3% distributed to the Pancake Swap liquidity pool, and back to the 3% to the NFT farming pool. And out of here, Black Hole and other holders, no problem. Some data, if you want to join the YooShi army, we've got over 222,000 people, holders, over almost 100,000 Twitter followers, and over 100,000 and 116,000 community members. 17 languages. I'm sure the devs speak about 16 of those languages. You know what I'm saying? I barely speak one language. you know what I mean? And then, of course, we got some things that we've accomplished recently, which is fantastic as well, and things that we're looking forward to in the future right here. Big marketing pushes, donation campaigns, the typical stuff. It's just super excited to be doing this with a whole bunch of friends and exchanges and partners that we are all kind of part of. I do want to leave some time for questions. I only got about 3 minutes here, which is fine. I want to spare, give you guys that space and that time. But look, if there's a project out there, like, could you imagine, like, you're in dire need and you don't have a lot of money, and then you hear about this random, you don't even know what crypto is, and they're like, yeah, a crypto project donated to your your development, your speech class, your rehab class, or whatever. And I'm like, for my brother has he's autistic a little bit, and it's I don't want to share that. It's not about me, right? But I couldn't imagine if there was a project out there that helped my brother randomly. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is just it's just difficult to think about, like, with the emotions that I would come up with, because I know what my parents have done and what I've done. We've had to work hard, and we had to, government pays a little bit, but we got to, pay for these classes. Like, they can't operate in normal, they can't just go get a job. I mean, like, just go get a job. That's too easy. They have to, like, they can't even, like, get out the door without getting into a fight or some kind of outburst or some kind of grip on emotion. So there is a lot of that kind of stuff. I just think it's amazing that we could do that without even thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because a lot of times we're just so in here, we're just so lizard brained, like, in here, and that's fine because we all got our own stuff. But to then do it in an ecosystem that automatically helps people, and then you find out, it's like, I think it's quite amazing. If anyone doesn't have any questions, that's all I got. But thanks so much for giving me the chance to speak.
Absolutely. Thank you, Aaron, and welcome to the BGA. There's a question from Robert asking about the most expected part of YooShi, which is the game. So any news on that?
Yeah, so they're keeping that pretty tight under wraps. I want to see that. I want to see that too. I'm not the inside. They just tell me, Aaron, this is coming out. I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. And so, yeah, no, there's no info on that. Sometime soon, I would assume that it's one of the bigger projects that they're working on, because it's very anticipated for everybody. Yep.
Awesome. We'll keep up with the news. Cool. And there's another question, which is the next exchange that you plan to enter?
Oh, dude, every exchange everywhere. Let's go Coinbase. Let's go. I mean, like, plan. It's everything. You know what I mean? Like, Binance, Coinbase, crypto.com. Realistically, I have no idea. We plan to enter all of them, though. So that's
no limits.
Yeah, no limits for sure.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining the BGA and presenting YooShi, and we'll definitely keep up with the news, and feel free to share any updates at the BGA. So nice. Thank you, Aaron.
Of course.
We're moving on to our next presenter, which is from Hackernoon. So we welcome on stage Lee Mark, who should be here with us. I can see the screen here. So hello, welcome. Can you hear me? Oh, I don't get your audio coming through. No. Maybe try to unplug your headset, if you don't mind.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, loud and clear. Wonderful. Welcome on stage.
Hey, what's up, everyone? My name is Lee Mark. I'm the VP of Growth and Gaming Editor at Hackernoon. I'll try to go fast as well to hopefully leave some questions at the end there. But let me just start with a brief intro to Hackernoon, and then I really just want to get into what Hackernoon is offering the BGA members, because really we're here to help. And in a nutshell, we believe that stories change the world. Whether you're trying to get more players to your game, you're trying to get more people to buy your NFT, it's all about what story you tell people and how well you can communicate that story. And at Hackernoon, we feel we're pretty good at that, and we hope we can help you all with all of your endeavors by helping you create and share the best stories possible. So what is Hackernoon? We are a tech publication that started back in 2016. We published our first story then, and to date we have 250 million page views. We created and launched our own CMS in 2019 to power our website. And today we maintain a global audience of anywhere between 60,000 to 80,000 readers daily. Interestingly, we actually don't have paid writers at Hackernoon. This is a community effort, and it's pretty much powered by 13,000 contributors from almost every major tech company in the world. We have people from Microsoft, AWS, Facebook. We have engineers all over the tech world publishing at Hackernoon. And we hope that you and your team members can start publishing at Hackernoon as well. So interestingly, Hackernoon exists between two spaces. On the left side, you'll see the traditional journalism like Forbes, your TechCrunch. And on the right side, you have unfiltered social media. And Hackernoon exists between that, in the sense that pretty much anybody can submit and try to publish at Hackernoon, but we do have our editorial process that kind of blocks out the spam, and we have the second human rule to make sure that everything we publish on Hackernoon matches our ideals, but we kind of have a decentralized vision of journalism. We try not to be so elitist in our ways, and we want to just give everybody a chance to publish. Oh, I didn't even know this slide was active. Sorry, I should have used that. Anyways, what can we offer the Blockchain Game Alliance? So I think the goals for anybody in the BGA publishing on Hackernoon is to generate third-party validation on our awesome media channel, which you can share and leverage through the association with Hackernoon and the Blockchain Game Alliance. And secondly, if you kind of have a smaller marketing team and you need help with your content marketing, you could definitely use us and leverage our team of editors and our community of tech writers to try to get the word out there. And what should you write about? So as interestingly, I talked to Sebastian about this when we first joined the Alliance. And one of the biggest problems I see from blockchain gaming stories on Hackernoon in particular is that a lot of people talk about what their project is doing, but they don't talk about why we should care. And when we're talking about games, the average gamer doesn't really care about the fancy blockchain you have in the back end. The average gamer cares about what your game is. Is it interesting? Why the hell should they play it? And we think that's where your stories should that's where the angle should be. So here are just some sample story approaches that you can take. And other than talking about your games that you're creating, also just general thought leadership pieces on the blockchain gaming industry and the metaverse in general seem to do well in Hackernoon too. So just a little of the logistics. Here's the URL to where you can create your account on Hackernoon. Once you create the account, you should set up your profile. And there's two ways to do this. You can publish as yourself, so as an engineer, as a CEO, a VP of a company, or you could publish as your company. And when you publish as a human on Hackernoon, it's free for everybody. Brands normally have to pay $1.99 per post. But since you're part of the BGA, this will be completely free for BGA members as long as your stories are original and not ads. We pretty much don't really publish PRs or ads on Hackernoon, but as long as your story is original and interesting, it'll be free. And when you create a brand profile, you get different benefits. Basically, you have the option to link your brand social media accounts, and you can also have a writer CTA to any landing page you want on your website. But this doesn't only exist on your profile. The CTA you create and all of the social media links will be published on every story that you ever publish on Hackernoon. So kind of promoting our writers and promoting our brands is really important. So at the top of every story, all of this information will be present, and also at the bottom of every story. So whatever CTA you choose, readers get the ability to click on that at the top and the bottom of every story. And here's just a few examples of that. Here's one created by David, our CEO. Next, headlines. So when you're creating your headlines, there's three things we find important at Hackernoon. Be specific in your language, talk about the technological or industry significance, and don't fish, don't clickbait. Even if you do write a really clickbaity title and you manage to get people to click on it, once they actually click on the article and realize they were clickbaited, we find they leave within 5 seconds. So it kind of defeats the purpose anyways. And here are just some examples of some of the best performing blockchain gaming stories on Hackernoon. You can even see that one of the best ones that I personally published was a comparison of the Sandbox, Decentraland, and Engine. If you have any questions about headlines or advice, feel free to just email me, leemark@hackernoon.com. Look at our past writings, or just ask yourself, like, what advice could you give other devs based on your own experiences? And when you're talking to your user base, why should gamers care about your game? Answer those questions and you should be good. This is just some more logistics about how to publish on Hackernoon. Once you have your profile set up and your story is drafted, all you have to do is submit story for review, and we'll get to publishing it as soon as possible. Just to recap quickly, all you have to do is create your account at Hackernoon, write or upload your story, and then submit your story for review. But after you submit it for review, that's when we get to work. So how we help you is basically we promote your stories not only on our homepage and our tag pages, we send weekly emails to all of our readers based on their interest. So anybody that selected blockchain gaming, NFTs as their interests, they'll get the emails of your stories directly to their inbox. In terms of social media, we tweet out your stories 3 times, the day of publication, the week after, and the month after. And also, you have the option to choose 8 tags that are related to your story, and your story will then live on those 8 tag pages on Hackernoon forever. If your story is extra amazing, you'll be tagged as a Hackernoon top story, which will trigger extra added distribution, such as social media updates and handwritten social media updates. We'll also distribute your story within our contact network to get more backlinks to your story from various platforms. And if your story is timely and hits a certain angle, it'll also be curated on Google News. So in short, if your story is really good, we basically become your ad hoc content marketing team. And these are just some other ways to work with Hackernoon. If you feel like the story publishing is going well and you kind of want to boost more and more content efforts, you can host an AMA, you can sponsor a newsletter, you can partner with us to host a writing contest, you can purchase podcast placement, or you can nominate your company for the startup awards that we'll be doing pretty soon. It hasn't been announced yet. There'll be more details coming on this soon, but basically what we're doing is we're creating startup awards, best startups per city for a number of cities across the world. So you can nominate your startup to be in the running there, and it can boost your brand marketing efforts as well. Most importantly, I want you all to tell us how Hackernoon can help you. We really meant it when we said we're invested in blockchain gaming as an industry. As we said, stories can change the world, and we believe gaming is one of the strongest and most powerful storytelling mediums out there. We believe metaverse is the future of gaming, and we hope to be a part of it. So tell us how we can help you, and we'll definitely try our best. That's it for me, everybody. Sorry if I talked a little fast. If we do have time for questions, I'd be happy to answer any.
Thank you so much, Lemark. It was a very clear presentation, and I love what you guys are going to do for the BGA members and everyone at the BGA. I personally find Hackernoon one of the best places to, as a source of information, and I've always been, a fan as a reader. So thank you so much for the presentation. I'll check now on the question. I don't see any right now, but I will just invite everyone to keep on taking a look at Hackernoon and all the wonderful news and the opportunities they will provide to the BGA and also to everyone. As it's a great platform to read more about anything related to blockchain, NFTs, and the latest news around gaming as well. So once again, thank you so much, Lemark, and welcome to the BGA.
Thanks very much.
We're now moving on to our next presenters and projects. So we welcome Pedro and Salome on the stage. Welcome, guys.
Thank you, Serena.
Hello, everyone.
Nice to be here. Hi, I'm Pedro. I'm CEO at dotmoovs.
I'm Salome, and I'm the CEO at dotmoovs. So thank you for having us here.
Yeah, we're very excited to be a part of the BGA. I'll share my screen. I'll just take you through our website and our recently released MVP that we would like to show you a little bit. Let me just see if I can share my screen. There we go. Should be coming up. Yep. Great. So basically, what dotmoovs is doing is creating a remote peer-to-peer sports competition platform. So the way we do this is we use artificial intelligence, and I know that everyone says they're using artificial intelligence. We actually are. So we have been working on this for a long time, actually. It was an idea that we discussed from a sports performance angle about, I would say, 10 years ago. But back then, the tech that was necessary to do any kind of sports performance or sports analysis was actually very heavy, and you needed specialist equipment. And right now, what we managed to do is use only a mobile phone and a video recording, and we use that to score sports performances. So basically, what we are allowing people to do right now is, as a first sport, is compete in freestyle soccer. So we have 2 amazing ambassadors. You can see one of them here, Luis Figo, former best football player in the world. And we also have Ricardo Quaresma, who's an amazing Portuguese football player as well. And they've been helping us on this journey, releasing this to the community. And what we are aiming for is to gamify this sport for now and to expand it soon to other sports as well. So basically, people will be able to use our mobile app that we're developing right now to log in and compete against their friends or against someone around the world that will be within their ranking. So the project is very simple. People will be able to also put forward some of our token, the move token, in order to say basically that they will win that challenge, and whoever wins that peer-to-peer challenge will take the whole pool home. We're also launching a set of NFTs to further gamify this. So think about those old player cards that we used to collect back in the, I don't know, maybe the 90s. I'm getting old. And basically just turning that experience into a digital experience. We already released Charisma's first NFT. It's been quite successful. So we're very excited about that. And as recently as Monday, we actually released our alpha, which is available here. So basically, you just need to go to alpha.dotmoovs.com. And what you'll be able to do is submit a video of yourself juggling a soccer ball. And we just give you a couple of instructions. It's very simple to use. Just make sure that your whole body is visible on the camera. And you record yourself, a video of 1 minute duration maximum. And what we'll do is we'll count the number of juggles that you do with the ball. We will subtract any penalties. So every time the ball touches the hands or touches the ground, that is counted as a penalty. And then you'll submit this, and in a couple of minutes, you'll receive an email, or you can wait on the page. And you'll be able to not only see your score, but also see your analyzed video. So we will show you how actually the tech is working, and we'll overlay our detection of the human body and the different limbs on your video. We use this to allow access to our staking pools. Fortunately or unfortunately, they're no longer available because they filled in just over 5 hours. We're actually very, very impressed about that. But we will be releasing more things soon. But regardless, if you want to test it out and see how the tech works, we are very keen on processing all of your videos and seeing some very good submissions coming in. Silme can probably talk to you a little bit more about our app development and what we have coming up, and then maybe we can open up to some questions.
So it was just to motivate the community and to embrace everyone and trying to understand what kind of technology we were promising since the beginning of the launch of the project. But our main goal was to actually develop an app, a mobile app, where we could create a competitive environment that would allow players to play in different sports and monetize their own performance through crypto. So what we are proposing next is we are going to release that version by the end of July, so beginning of August, where you can have the whole environment in your mobile phone. So everything it's going to be happening in the app from the moment where you start challenging another player to deciding in which amount of of moves should be used to compete against the other player. And you can also perform the challenge using your smart camera. So the main goal of end of July and August is to really try this app version and try to see how the community feels about the app and what kind of features we can still improve, and in order for us to launch the last version and the final version of the app in September. Our next goal is to open to other kind of sports. We are willing to go for basketball and dancing because they are very different from football, and also because we believe that we are going to reach more people in other kind of sports. So in kind of a small 10 minutes, so I think we're trying to show you everything that we got so far. Thank you.
Thank you both, guys, Pedro and Salome. I think it's been a very comprehensive presentation. So welcome to the BGA, and thank you for presenting the project. There's a question coming from Lee Mark, which I don't know if you want to ask it live or I can read it out loud. But the question is about, Lee Mark, go ahead.
Yeah. So It's the first time I've heard of dotmoovs. Really interesting. Would you describe it as like a TikTok for sports challenges where you get paid in crypto to complete the sports challenge, or are you going for a kind of different angle there?
I can give you my idea, and Sylvain, maybe you can add to this. I think so TikTok is more of like a social media kind of platform, right? And it's trying to establish a social network. Our goal here is not so much to showcase the submissions, but to actually create an environment that drives performance through competition. So yes, there will be an element of that fun of just watching other people's challenges, and there's that crypto earning side to it. But the idea here is that competition drives performance, and that is the main goal, and to allow people to compete with each other remotely without having to have a human judge, which is usually what prevents people from actually accessing competitions and getting better and working on their skills. So I don't know if you want to add anything.
No, I think you sum up very well. But just to give a point, when we started, we didn't even think about TikTok, which was like TikTok was seen by us as a social media channel that we wanted to spread the word. But a lot of people from the community reached us saying like, you could help us monetizing our videos in TikTok, and maybe there's a point in there. But yes, we're totally focusing, trying to join crypto and sports as never seen before. And we don't want to use the venue as a social media for channels just for influencers. We want everyone to use it to play for and to improve their performance. But that's a very good point also.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you for the question, Loumark. Yes, that makes a really good headline, I think, for an article. So why not?
Indeed.
So welcome to the BGA, guys, and thank you again for presenting with us. Great project.
Thank you.
Our next presenter today is Evelyn from Digital Village. So Evelyn, welcome.
Thank you so much. Just a disclaimer that my internet is not working. Everything is dying. So if I drop out, apologies in advance. I'd like to share a video with you. Let's see if I can manage. There we go. All right.
Perfect. We can see your screen. Yes.
All right, great. All right, so where should I start? I've been talking about Digital Village today about 500 times today. So Digital Village is a social multiplayer metaverse built on Unreal Engine. And we are on VeChain blockchain, and we have invented our own blockchain interface called Village Protocol. There is some exciting news coming up around that soon. And we have our marketplace connected with our metaverse, and I'm going to show you a little demo of how the platform works, and we are about to launch in early September. So you come on our platform, create your account, and on your VeChain wallet, and then you can add your profile picture and social handles, and you can download your digital assets there, and start a crowdfunding project where other community members can pledge ownership of your asset, which after the NFT is minted and auctioned, and get their share from there. And we optimize as to basically with the meta profile of Digital Village, enter there. This is the Village Protocol blockchain. So basically, it's just a demonstration of how we showcase Village protocols of the blockchain in real time. Users can choose what kind of data they basically extract from the blockchain, and they get to chat with the people they follow, and they can choose, if these people are their closest friend or top sellers or most affordable auctions going on or latest drops and so on. So people can pledge by using DVC, which is our native coin. And basically, this is the profile where you can see all your assets that you sell and own. And this is just to demonstrate, my colleague Cornell is coming on board, and she creates her profile, and she basically comes after to see the auction that's going on my crowdfunding project. And before that, she can create her own assets, and she can bid on my asset, which after she wins the bid, just to demonstrate how that goes, and she receives the asset in her profile, and then I'm inviting her to join the metaverse. So with the same meta profile, she can log into the metaverse, and she will be able to enter the so-called infinity room, where each user can store their digital assets, whether it's a fashion asset or it's art piece, or it's a texture, or any type of asset that users can bring into their infinity rooms. It can also be different types of avatars, which we are going to drop. And here she can select an experience and enter the metaverse. We have about 10 different zones, and each zone is built with different architects. And basically, you can chat with other users in real time using audio chat. And we really focus on visual quality. And in this demo, we have a limited amount of visuals for NDA purposes. So we work with different governments, art and fashion industry at the moment. And yeah, I'm just gonna fast forward zone 2. Another zone. And here's my avatar speaking with Cornell. Yeah, basically that's it. So sorry for the craziness. My battery is running low as well. It's been a busy day. But yeah, if you have any questions, happy to answer.
Thank you, Evelyn. Thank you for being here with us. I know how crazy those days can be, but I really appreciate you being here and showing us around. You know, Digital Village, it really looks like a wonderful place to be. And I feel this type of interaction and all the different features you guys have developed really add something into the metaverse, into what, you know, our life in the virtual space will look like, not in the future, but actually in the present. So thank you so much for presenting with us, and welcome to the BGA.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I don't see any questions right now, but I would, as always, invite anybody who's interested in learning more to get in touch with Evelyn and the team at Digital Village to learn more about what they are developing, and definitely keep up with our news at the BGA. We're moving on to our next presenter now, which is Mathieu from Gameloft. So welcome, Mathieu, on stage.
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here today. I don't have a presentation about what Gameloft is doing in the crypto space because we don't have anything to announce yet. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. Yeah. All right. I'm sure many of you have played Gameloft games. Gameloft is a pretty old company in the gaming space, especially the mobile gaming space. The company was created like more than 20 years ago in Paris and has grown since then. We were making games for phones at the time, and then for the app stores, and now we're doing more and more games for consoles and PC as well. So this is just a few titles. I'm sure you recognize some of them. Our biggest games are Asphalt 9, or the Asphalt franchise, Dragon Mania Legend, Disney Magic Kingdom, or Song Pop. And it's a company. We have about 3,000 employees throughout the world, spread over, I think, around 20 locations. So it's a pretty big game publisher and developer. I myself, if I take a step back, I joined Gameloft about 2.5 years ago when I sold my company to them. I'm based out of New York City, and I created this game called Song Pop. And I'm just going to give you like a very quick overview of what the game is. The reason also we joined the BGA is because Gameloft is very interested in the crypto space in general, and also for me on the side, I'm also the co-founder of a Bitcoin mining company in Canada that's about to go public. So I'm very much into the crypto space for a few years now. So I'm really hoping that I think that blockchain is really the future of gaming. Quickly, this is my studio. Who we are. So I created a game called Song Pop, which is a music trivia game, created in 2012. You just listen to a short music clip and you have to guess the name of the artist or the name of the song. And it's really, what is interesting is that it's a game first of all, it's a mobile game, but it's much more than that, because it's also like a mini social network. You can make friends, you can chat. It's also a music discovery and listening platform, because we have actual songs in the game. So we've had a very, very big success over the years. This is how it started in 2012. And we've had over 120 million installs, probably a bit more by now, maybe 140, maybe 150 million players over the years. And we're lucky we have an evergreen game that's going to last probably decades. So pretty happy. We've had a lot of rewards. People really love our game. We have a lot of stuff on social media, in the news, and we also have a lot of celebrities. And we have, as I said, we have a lot of people meeting in the game. So we have a lot of weddings, we have a lot of Song Pop babies. And beyond that, it's a game that's really being played within family circle. You have a lot of people. Our biggest use case is mothers playing against daughters, for example, or family members playing with one another. We have a lot of women. I think 70% of our players are women, which is not unusual for a casual game, but maybe more unusual for a typical game. So that's it for me. Really happy to be here. Nothing to announce yet. We are here to learn, to get, to try to understand what we could do, and then we'll, announce stuff a bit later.
Thank you so much, Mathieu. I think what you guys have been working on for years has definitely been, a good gem for, what's coming up in the NFT space. So I'm sure you will be delivering amazing products and games in the space, but also great to be sharing some stats and some insight about what the space has been looking like, which I think sometimes we don't get to see much, given that blockchain often doesn't share much about their users. So that's interesting to hear from that. So thank you so much, Mathieu, and welcome to the VGA. I'm now passing on the word to our next presenter, which is Ryan from PhotoMode. So welcome on stage, Ryan.
Hi, you're right. How's it going? I'm the editor at the PhotoMode magazine. We've been going for 12 months now. We're a publication that basically presents virtual photographers, so people who take shots in games. So lots of AAA titles now, they come out with photo modes kind of as a social sort of social media currency for them. It's very valuable. If you look at a hashtag on Twitter or Instagram with a game that's got a photo mode in it, it's never a streamer or it's never a streamer that's kind of at the top. It's always someone's set, someone's shots, and that's sort of what we we try and encapsulate in our magazine each month. It's a free magazine. I'm going to share one of the issues on screen now. Is it there? Can you see it?
Not yet. Try and reshare your screen, perhaps.
Okay. You got it?
It's coming up, yes.
All right,
Here
good.
we go. Thank you.
Yeah, so this is kind of a recent example of one of the issues that we did with Ben Studios. And basically it's 60 pages of virtual photography, people sharing their shots and talking about it. If I go to one of the pages here, what we try and encourage people who take shots to do is actually talk about their process and their work and what's inspired them. There's a few aggregators in the virtual photography community that do similar things as well, but they don't put it together as a magazine like we do. And we also interview, what we've started doing now with studios as well, is interviewing members from the studio who are involved in the making of that actual aspect of the game, just to get a bit more of an insight. The reason that we want to join, we're happy to be part of the BGA, is sort of multifaceted, really. We want to start featuring blockchain games and talking about them in the magazine. In August's issue, we've actually got a feature like that coming up. It's going to be our first blockchain game feature with a project that I think this month is the #1 in actually generating revenue as a crypto app. So that's quite exciting. So we're looking forward to showing you that in the August issue, because basically that will give you, a lot of members of this alliance an insight into how we want to present and actually assist in educating sort of a wider gaming audience with regards to what blockchain gaming actually is. We also have an idea for let me try and share another screen with you. Hang on. The one as well. Have you got this?
Yes, it's on screen. Thanks.
Okay, so we've also got a VP NFT concept at the moment. We've spoken to a few studios about this. Obviously, the biggest kind of initial barrier is obviously IP laws and things like that that will have to maybe facilitate this. But we've had kind of behind closed doors to it, because I think what a lot of studios have realized is they can start harnessing sort of how popular virtual photography is. There's thousands and thousands of people sharing their shots and their kind of experiences of a game in this way now. And they're quietly aware that it's kind of a potential revenue stream for studios as well. And it's a new sort of form of community building, really, where both are incentivized to be part of this. We've got a short video here. So the idea is to collect one-on-one editions. That's just an example sort of price of what a shot might be put up for. Sells. So collectors can then display their shots in their TPM gallery. It's divided. That's essentially how it works. We're essentially trying to build a sort of new support network around virtual photography, because it's, even if you look at various releases, so Ratchet and Clank, that did really well because the immediate reaction online, it's not just sort of playability and the game mechanics, but also how good it looks aesthetically, and how complex the PhotoMode is with Insomniac games, for example. And then you have sort of the flip side where, there was another game that I won't name that was released recently as well, and their PhotoMode was very limited, and the reception sort of online was sort of the polar opposite. So studios are realizing now that they really assist when they're launching a game, and as a feature as well, we've spoken to studios and they've said it increases the shelf life of a game. It makes it more evergreen, because what a lot of players do now is they'll complete a game and then they'll go back to, they'll replay it again, and solely to capture it and take shots. So yeah, that's us. And the main, we're really excited to show our August issue, because it's going to sort of reveal the blueprint as to how it's here as well.
Thank you, Ryan. I have to say, I am a fan of this project. I've actually been following it quite closely because I love that gaming, art, and something close to cinema as well is coming together and is seen as art, and as something that can be collected and that the audience can support it. So I'm a fan of it. I know Lee Mark has a question for you, so I'll let him ask the question to you directly.
Hey Ryan, it was really cool. I was just geeking out while you're doing that, and I opened your Last of Us issue because it's just such a great project. And I'm not completely new to virtual photography. I'm decently familiar with it. I didn't know it was this big though. Out of curiosity, if you don't mind sharing, since the magazine is free, how does the company make revenue to continue and to keep building these projects?
The revenue streams kind of it's built into sort of generating, I don't think, a revenue at the moment. It's very much kind of a labor of love, really. But we've been assured by some of the studios that we've worked with that the idea that we have with regards to the VP NFT is something that they're going to back. So it's very much in its infancy at the moment. I'd say probably more than anything at the moment we're a community builder. So we've co-hosted lots of competitions with these studios as well, with prizes and things like that. And we're just really.
Yeah, I think you're really onto something there. Like, obviously, NBA Top Shot proved that there's a space in the market for big brands and NFTs coming together and kind of leveraging the community that way, especially the gaming community. That's like such a tight-knit community. I think you're definitely onto something, and I hope it works out.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Ryan, and best of luck with everything. As I said, I love what you guys are doing. So yeah, can't wait to see what the project is going. And welcome to the BGA. There's a question to you. Sorry, Ryan, if you don't mind. I just saw it now. Raining Games. So do you think being able to sell VP as NFTs will bring gamers closer to developers in some ways?
I think so, because it kind of, I guess from like purely a commercial perspective, it suddenly becomes an endeavor in which people from a player base and a studio are both generating something through essentially taking it as an NFT. So I think it would be very good in that sense. But then, I think it'd just be an extension of what we've already seen, really. Studios, people who work for studios at the moment, they love the virtual photography community, because every day we're pounding feeds with their, incredible environmental shots or portraits from their games. So, on that basis, a lot of virtual photographers are already sort of celebrated by the studios. And there is this, I think that's probably going to, when we realize this, that's going to sort of enhance it even more.
Thank you. Thank you for the answer. And thank you for the question. So wonderful. Okay, we're now moving on to our last presenter for today. Unfortunately, he was not able to join us. So I will be playing a video from Dan from Ethamore. So I'll be sharing my screen now and share the video presentation that Dan sent to us. So bear with me.
Hello, my name is Dan from the Ethamore project. I'm sorry I can't be with you.
Can I just check you guys could hear the audio? Because I have the headset. Yes, you can. Wonderful. Okay, I'll be playing the video now. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dan from the Ethamore project. I'm sorry I can't be with you today. The time zone in Australia is a little bit hard sometimes with online meetings, but I'm excited to record this meeting for you today to explain to you what Ethamore is and what we've done so far and where we hope to go. So Ethamore is a DAO. It is also a role-playing game. It's based on 15,000 unique characters that inhabit the world of Ethamore. They are predominantly ERC 721 tokens on the Ethereum blockchain. They're all procedurally generated characters in a fantasy setting, and the world really feeds back between the core team, developing the narrative pathway for the game, and the community of token holders. And I'll explain to you a little bit more about that. So, Ethamore, as I mentioned, is a digital art project predominantly, but it's also a metaverse created by the community that supports the game. And the game uses DAO-like structures for choices and group discussions and decisions on what happens and what takes place within the world of Ethamore. So it's really the cultural cross-pollination between fantasy community of role-playing games, those that play D&D or Baldur's Gate or Diablo, if you've ever played these decision-making games, where you have a character and you're in a world making decisions that change the world around you. And it is really a creative world that's owned by the community. The core team developing the quests and the narrative story arc are really guided a lot by the community content that comes out and the community decisions. It's just a way for everyone to get together, have a bit of a subculture, experiment, have fun in an imaginary world. So the characters are based on a series of artwork that gets procedurally generated. There are 39 possible fantasy races. Some are more rarer than others. The same with what classes of heroes. So we've got obviously kind of wizards, fighters, clerics, all the kind of fantasy tropes. And then the characters may or may not come with kind of item artifacts. And they all come from one of 9 possible different character backgrounds that kind of give us a little bit of a little bit of seeds of what the world of Ethamore is. And based on that layer of character art, the community will decide kind of what the geography is like, what the map is like, what the pantheon of gods, the backstories of the races and the classes, and how those political interactions come together in kind of sessions within the Discord. And then our narrative journey will kind of twist and turn based on those decisions of the community. So here's a few of the different characters. Got some giants, some eagle folk, some dwarfs, all the kind of fantasy things that you would expect to be in a fun fantasy world. So as I mentioned, the world of Ethamore is very dynamic, and the narrative arc really changes based on the community and the DAO choices. So that content that kind of we stimulate within the community is decided on at a vote DAO-like level, and those things feed back with individual character choices, rippling into the greater world that kind of have consequences, affecting the core plot and the narrative quest arc, which then feed back obviously into more decision-making around the world building inside of the DAO. So we're using DAO structures to basically be like a tabletop role-playing game. This is a little peek inside of the Discord. Once you have a character, you can assign yourself your race, background, and trait, basically the character trait roles, and you'll be given a bit of a sub channel where it's locked off to people who have those similar traits. So you can, for example, with your half demon friends, have a little bit of flavor text there to kind of pitch you into the world of a half demon, and you can have a chat about what it's like to be a half demon with all of your half demon buddies, and you can decide to go on an adventure together, or you can do some. We really do encourage any type of creativity. If you're an author or a writer, you can write something. If you're a drawer, you can draw something. If you just want to play part of the game, the narrative quest that we designed for you, you can. Otherwise, you can just hang out and chat. It's a really welcoming, kind of diverse world that we're trying to foster. We had our first vote recently about what difficulty setting people want to play on. Most people overwhelmingly chose to play on the hard difficulty, which is where choices have consequences. And it's not surprising with RPG players and characters that people want that experience, but we're kind of opting the option of permanent character death there, which makes really interesting economic kind of interactions with the base layer tokens, because then we're obviously burning those tokens if a character dies, and that reduces the supply. It's kind of interesting as well, considering the different quests make different character traits desirable as collectibles along the way if they're engaged in certain different quests, as well as the lore and how that interacts with specialty characters that might have a military history if they've been in this war or that war or something. So the economics of the actual underlying tokens kind of change based on maybe how they've interacted within the world. So the roadmap for us at the moment, we've done a little bit of a sneaky stealth drop to the wider world. We have opened up our sale of our token, even though we are still building a little bit of our back end to support the kind of trait-based voting. We intentionally did this so we could start to kind of stoke the fire of a little bit of a community around the game and the world. Our core quests and our side quests are yet to be released. We're still building a little bit of the world with the community to get enough of a setting so we can kind of launch from there. But the main back end that we still are required to kind of get up and running is the release soon of our DAO engine, which will allow people to vote based on their ERC 721 tokens and the traits that are involved in those. So, for example, all of the orcs can make a vote within the DAO, against another trait. For example, if it's all the druids are deciding to kill all of the dwarves or whatever, we could have votes with just that metadata being involved. So that's exciting. So a little bit on the drop. We have a fairly standard kind of set low price to not price out people. When you get a character, it mints randomly from the pack. So we think that adds an exciting kind of way to get a character that you may or may not wanted to have played and just step in their shoes and see what it's like. It almost forces the role-playing aspect upon you. You can obviously find which one you want on a secondary market otherwise, but we think that it's kind of fun to have a random distribution of characters in there, and it also just makes our world a little bit more diverse. Oh, just to note, I might go back a slide. We also have on our drop a carbon emission calculator, which is kind of interesting in the bottom corner there. So depending on the network fee, you can see how much carbon it is taken up by the network congestion in the minting process, and we plan to offset all that for the post the drop. Just a little bit of transparency on the carbon footprint of the project. In the first week we launched, we were pretty excited because we didn't really do it with any marketing at all, and we popped inside very briefly for a day or two inside the DApp Radar top 10 blockchain games alongside all of the other kind of play to earn games. So we're very excited. Obviously, being not a play to earn game, we're a kind of play to feel and have narrative experience and choices game. But to be there alongside of these other games was very exciting for a little period. So why is Ethamore different to anything else? Well, at the moment, we're kind of innovating in spaces that are kind of bleeding edge. We're using ERC 721s in a DAO, so not really a usual token that would be used in a kind of setting like this. But I think that this has a lot of implications for, collector communities and specific communities that have these identity artworks. And we're using that metadata for voting as well. So look, there's, if you, for example, had a CryptoPunk zombie, that's a metadata level trait, not just an ERC 721 token. So, we are kind of experimenting in a DAO use case that hasn't probably been done before, using it as a game, but also using it as a way to make a community engaged with art. Primarily art. The other thing that we're doing, which is a bit different, is most blockchain games really are migrating to layer 2 networks, where obviously, game assets that have to transact quickly and often between players are prohibited by high gas fees. We really have our base layer game assets are pretty stable and unchanging. So that's really the character art that you have, but our level of the game happens on a social level and on the DAO level, which is all kind of off-chain voting and off-chain discussion. So we're kind of have the highest security on the base layer of Ethereum with our game assets, but the kind of value behind that asset is the metadata that changes and the social interactions that happen within the game. So what we need really on our roadmap from here is, whilst we're kind of building towards the launch of our main arc and our main narrative storyline, is that we need a bit of traction and we need a little bit of marketing. So we're hoping to, find the partnerships and the champions through our networking and then through our reach out through presentations like this, and finding DAOs and blockchain game allies to support us and have a little bit of guidance and find some people who are in the same space to help us on our journey to become what we want to, which is a really interesting use case of an NFT in a blockchain game. So we're going a little bit of a different direction to most, and we're really excited about it. So if you ever want to get involved, the action is in our Discord. You can find us on Twitter at Ethamore Law or Ethamore Law or ethamore.xyz. Just for a little bit of bonus content, here's one of our first side quests. So it's called the Lost Scrolls quest. This is one of the kind of longer term quests. There are 50 scrolls that are hidden around Ethamore. And if you want to have a look at the text, there's a really cool write-up with good kind of narrative prose in the Discord. And basically, the game of the scrolls works inside of the world of Ethamore is that if any one person controls all of the scrolls, they have the option to open the gates of desolation. If that happens, then people who are from the library background can choose to either burn those scrolls, hold them, or return them. So it really is a game that doesn't really have a right answer. It kind of leans on the dynamics of scarcity, temptation, and cooperation. It's just a giant prisoner's dilemma, really. So it's just going to be fun to see how that pops out once all the scrolls have been minted. It's something that can keep the discussion going for a side quest while the main narrative arc continues. So thanks so much for listening. I really wish I was there, and I'm looking forward to hearing everyone who wants to reach out about Ethamore do so over Twitter. Come at us and say hi. Thank you so much.
Okay, here we are. So thanks to Dan who sent this video about Ethamore and the project. And I just want to take this time to send a really warm welcoming to all the June members that have joined the BGA. So welcome to the BGA, everybody. And thank you again for your great presentation. We'll keep up with your projects and keep sharing all the news throughout our social channels. So once again, thank you to everyone who tuned in for this BGA members presentation this month. And thank you for watching and for being with us. Thank you all again. Thank you, guys. See you soon.